SEAL Team.
Welcome back. We are back. We're back for SEAL Team episode 4.
One of my favorites.
Hold on, let me bring up the title here so I can get us all going. I have the summary, but I did not write down the name of it because, I'm really well prepared today. Oh, okay. So we are back, and it is episode 4 called Ghosts of Christmas Future, where Jason and the team refuse to abort a mission to capture a dangerous war criminal after it goes awry. Clay's controversial father comes to town on his book tour. Exciting stuff. What? Bravo disobeying orders or something? No, they would never.
No, never.
I think it it's a personal favorite of mine. There's some good Mandy stuff in here as a Mandy fan that I
One of
really,
my
really
favorite
love.
lines.
Yeah, it's such a good Mandy episode, I think. And we
Yep.
we kind of get a little touch of her background, I think.
Yeah, and well, there's a really good Jason line to her in it, and we also see some protective Jason to her, which I like. So it's gonna be
Yeah.
a good episode. I can't wait.
Yeah. And then of course we still have the side story of Clay at home, and we're gonna dive a little bit more into his whole dad. And he's this famous author who went and wrote about his SEAL days, so that's interesting.
I like the
With
author part because I am
Yeah.
an author. I did a little book tour once in Canada, so that's
I
fun.
know you've interacted more with the military community, but I mean, there are other people who have I mean, is it this kind of controversial thing of when people go out and write books on
Well, it depends on the subject matter. I mean, it always depends on the subject matter and what's put out for public consumption.
true. That
So
is true. Yeah.
I would have been interested to know exactly what was in Clay's dad's book. I mean, why was he, a pariah? Just because he wasn't an officer? Because he wrote the book? I mean, we're never really clearly told why.
That's true. Yeah, it's just kind of out there, and they're like, "Yeah, he wrote a book," and did you read it? Did you read it?
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Anyways, we just want to thank everybody again for all your support and watching. And if you haven't watched our prior episodes, we genuinely or very strongly recommend that you go and catch up on them. Play us while you watch the episode yourself. So, without
Yeah.
further ado, we're going to hit play on 3. 1, 2, 3.
The previous leads. Is Nate going to be in it?
Hmm. Problem was you were never here.
Literature. That's what I got my degree in, is
There's
English.
Nate. Nate's in there.
Knew it.
Oh, the phone. Oh, yeah, that's right. We left off with
They
the
left off.
whole mystery woman.
Yeah, she's walking by the car and didn't even notice him, which is odd.
I totally wouldn't notice Jason either.
Sitting in a darkened car. Well, the light was kind of shining on him. You'd think she'd notice some guy sitting there.
Oh, I still will never get over how we started out episodes back in the day. So this is like a flashback
Yeah.
to a war criminal, and this is just horrifying.
Brutal. Yeah.
Which I think it's going to be really interesting when we watch this whole story unfold of how this guy got onto the radar to be a target package.
Yeah. It's just horrifying. They always, start the episode with a bang. Ooh,
For sure.
that was kind of bad. Bang.
This was I know. This was a very tragic bang.
Yes. Traumatizing.
Keep that face in mind, you guys,
Ooh,
because
look at those eyes. It's always the eyes.
really fantastic job by the actor.
And the director.
Oh, the transitions.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. We get a view of someone.
CIA.
There's our girl Mandy.
I do love her in blue. Very nice wardrobe choice.
I like her being a boss.
Yeah. Need to protect him. He's an asset.
She has an office.
Good old Doug. She's happy to
Elder
see
states.
him.
She's making fun of him, calling him an elder. The higher you go, the less you know.
And she's late for dinner.
Dinner with who?
I don't know, it's Helen.
How many times has Mandy mentioned like old friends?
Yeah.
How do you know we're not an item?
She already has two actual parents. We'd love to know more about them.
Yes, we need to know more.
Well, in first season, she has two actual parents. It seems like she has parents that are together, but of course, we find out later that was not the case. So, very interesting.
Or is it like a situation of like we find out some more stuff about her parent, but like maybe she's adopted? Uh-oh. Mikey's in
Principal's
trouble.
office.
He's a haze. What do we expect?
Look at Alana's face. Is that a counselor in there with the principal?
It's so interesting how Jason has something to say and Alana's just taking it all in.
Jason does not look impressed with Keith.
Who are you? What do you do again?
Jason.
Yeah.
Because he sees the real world.
I mean, can we really blame Jason for his point of view, though? I mean,
Yeah.
in the real world, he is right.
True, but I'm assuming Mikey is what, maybe sixth grade here?
Maybe. They're saying, I mean, it sounds so serious. They're like he's showing problematic behavior, but we've barely even we just know Mikey exists at this point. We know nothing else about him.
Yeah, combative.
Oh, he's 11. She says he's 11.
So fifth grade.
And now we turn to the parents and their whole situation of being separated.
Evolution of domestic arrangements.
This is so, I love this next transition part about this whole, have they been seeing other people?
I kind of love how they're meshing how Jason has a hard time coming back to family life after his job. I mean, he's really kind of still stuck in, you don't ask the bullies, to nicely go away.
Ooh, sexy scene. Close your eyes, close your eyes.
Where's my pearls? Clutch the pearls.
One of the few sexy scenes of the series again. It's so funny. They're like, yeah, we're totally not seeing anyone. And then it's them two still.
Yeah.
Where exactly are these guys? Is
it
a hotel?
I assumed it was a hotel.
That's really sad if that's where. I mean, it makes the apartment look nice.
I know, right?
Which is saying something. That's a whole other topic in a season or so we're going to be talking about. Jason is in his, well, we will further learn his ignore and override.
Yeah.
They both look really good and the chemistry is off the charts.
Yeah, I always thought Jason was older than her, but she just said it's like we're 15 again, which seems to say they're the same age.
Well, because I guess the story we later hear the story about how these two met, so they're like teenage sweethearts.
Right. I just assumed that he was older than her. But the SEAL Team timeline, nobody ever really knows.
We can make him as old as we want or as young as we want. You stopped coming back.
Yeah. And we all know when.
We will find out when.
And he doesn't want to talk about that.
That hair is still perfect, just saying, after rolling around in bed.
Yeah. I mean, even Alana's hair, you know.
I mean, she looks a little fruffled.
Yeah, a little rumpled.
Ooh, briefing room time. I always loved how they shot the briefing room. You get like the overview and then the close-ups.
Well, and the way they do the shadows and the light on faces, it's all very well done. Red flag. Shipping weapons to Afghanistan through Estonia.
I mean, these guys are shipping weapons to Afghanistan via Estonia.
They obviously don't know how to look at a map.
I never get over either the knowledge everybody has. It's just...
Yeah, smart. Good
Easy.
point, Jason.
Jason's like, why do we gotta do this?
Yeah. Get the EU involved.
We just wanted to let you know. You looked like you were bored, Jason.
Need a mission.
Arms dealer and a war criminal. Are they two different things? Well, I guess.
Yeah, I think you can be
That's
an arms
true.
dealer without being a war criminal, but it's probably intertwined.
True.
But it's just interesting how they're planting the red flags on this mission right from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm. I think it's really interesting too how we talk about Mandy, what's going to happen with her, because like you said, there's a lot of red flags maybe to the viewer of like, you know, this seems a little too good to be true, like what's going on.
And how well
there's
he knows
another
her.
conversation, I think, a big Jandy one that kind of like, you're like, because this guy, his name is Doug, right? He's really gunning.
I don't think his name is Doug. I think she was talking on the phone to a guy named Doug. I can't remember what this guy's name is.
He only orders room service. I love how she just stands in the background and
listens to them and offers advice and support.
Brainstorming.
They're all spitballing. Yep.
I love the brainstorming here.
They don't have a model though, only a map.
Maybe they lost some money on this episode, so they couldn't afford the model.
Well, I guess you really couldn't do a model of the hotel or the port.
We could for fun.
Vehicle to vehicle. Everybody likes that idea.
Our first interdiction.
Like riding a bike.
Ray wants to drive. I love this.
Here it is.
This is such an important scene, you guys.
Oliver. He was her mentor.
And she admires him, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff I'm pretty sure he just made up.
Little senior.
So I think that's really interesting. She mentions how post 9/11 you can't get a target package without tying it to terrorism.
There it is.
Trust me, you don't have to worry about Oliver's objectivity.
I trust you.
I trust you.
You guys remember that.
I love how he stepped closer to her because the personal space they never really have, and then says, I trust you.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, I would just love if I could ask the writers to just tell me what they ever thought, like the backstory to those two were.
Yes. Their first mission, when did they start working together?
I don't know why I've always pictured the meeting of like Mandy and Jason being like kind of like they're gonna be like Jason's gonna combat against her, but then something she does changes his mind that he's like, okay, she's not a normal spook. So, and now we're enjoying Stella and
Clay.
Clay in
Pillow
bed.
talk. She wants to go see his dad's reading.
Wow, that is some deep psychology right there.
I know, right? It's interesting that they brought psychology into Jason at the principal and guidance counselor's office and here with Clay and Stella. Theme. I mean, what the Ghost of Christmas Future? Are we looking at the future?
I don't think we haven't mentioned the title in the show yet either. Or did we?
No, I don't think so.
This is come on, Clay.
I mean, really, they've only been at the bar in her apartment, right?
I believe so.
Clay's not a very good date.
I feel like, isn't it kind of early to go be seeing parents?
Well, I mean, third date, I would say so, but what do I know?
Right.
Anyways,
I'd like to
registering
register a grievance.
I love all the training they do for these.
You're not low.
He usually would be low viz, but good
Ray is
music
so
for this one.
upset he can't drive.
Excuses.
Cool music.
Oh, that's what I was saying.
I'm sure that this vehicle interdiction is going to go perfectly planned since we're watching it here.
Yes, just like they did in a training.
Exactly. How many windows do you have to like break?
Right? They do it every time.
Is that like a shatter thing they just put up?
And where do they get all these cars from that they're shattering the windows?
There's not going to be any traffic or cars out there at all.
We can just time it.
That was 24 seconds?
Not bad.
Let's get it. Jason, under 20?
He just wants to rub it into Ray. Back in the cages.
I love how they did so much detail to these cages.
Yeah.
And when you watch this series, you're going to notice like they made sure to keep those details in order.
Yeah.
All right,
Got a picture of the woman.
Jason didn't forget about what Ray said they should forget about.
And went without him.
Did you find Jesus? Isn't it interesting? Ray automatically is just going to be like, yeah, he had an affair, get over it.
Yeah, he's guilty. Oh,
this is what I love about Jason. He's so honorable. Like he's like, I could just, he could just tell Alana and be like, yeah, there's nothing and spare her the hurt. But even that just guilts him.
Yeah. Doesn't bother Ray, apparently. Someone's going to cause me hurt. Lie to me, baby.
Jason's trying to recite the Bible. Nate was definitely a good
I think he
man.
wants to preserve Nate's memory.
He wants to preserve Nate's memory, but the problem is, in his memory, will it still stay preserved?
That's right.
What a view.
I'll say. Very pretty.
I'm trying to remember. I believe they actually may have flown out to the actual, like somewhere in Europe. I don't know if they flew out by now. in season 1 to like the actual city to go film all this. Or I might be thinking of season 3.
This would be hard to manufacture though without actually being
That's
there.
true. I mean, I know in season 3 they went to Belgium, Paris area for some stuff. I just don't know in season 1 on episode 4 if they had the budget necessarily yet to go out.
Somebody quick Google it. Did they go on location in season
Right.
1?
But I mean, whether they did or not, it's still fantastic details. I mean, I remember watching this episode on a rewatch. We talked about like the earpiece with the cord, like, isn't that obvious? And I think there's like a whole Tyler Gray interview about that. Like, they went through like talking about whether or not they would use that or whatever. And like, I guess in real op life, it is an option because I was like, doesn't it look pretty obvious? Like, 6 dudes out on the street with an earpiece in there.
And they're large dudes. They're not just like normal.
They all got broad shoulders.
Yeah.
So Ray wasn't going to blend in, but he blends in here.
Blends in enough to place the tracer
Guess
on the
so.
car.
And no one see him randomly get into a van. Ray with glasses on. I like the coloring they kind of did on this film.
Yeah. It's very kind of neutral, washed.
Act natural, Jason. Act natural.
Try to blend. Lots of people at that market.
This is kind of our first real, like, recon in person undercover.
True. Everybody's working together.
Yeah. It's so interesting how you have to place people everywhere to make sure you don't lose something. Because, like, you don't, like, what if he turns right instead of left? Like,
or what if he figures out, all these people are following him?
All these ladies think Sonny's approachable.
Yeah. And he lost him. Not good.
We lost the HVT.
Someone else is going to pick him up.
Without drawing attention.
He's not drawing attention.
They did a fantastic job, though, coordinating and, like, filming this to, like, be so seamless of angles and, like, I like in the background you can see Brock. Like, you can see it all.
And the perspectives. Slow-mo.
Uh-oh. Call break. Why are we aborting?
What's the word, Big Daddy?
What's the word,
Big Daddy?
Ooh, things just went awry.
They knew the bodyguard.
What a memory.
They feel sad about the bodyguard.
Oliver is panicking over aborting.
We'll just take out the people off the snatch team.
Yeah, we'll just take you guys off the team and it'll be
2 other people.
Yeah.
Well, at least, Jason's trying to be patient with the guy.
See, now the guys are getting irritated with Oliver because he keeps pushing.
Yep. And they're trying to explain to him, this is the real reality.
The look Jason silently gives Mandy, like...
Yeah. A whole conversation with no words.
And Mandy is she's staying cool, but you can see the wheels turning in her head.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the haze look.
Jason's got an idea. Andy
Mandy's
sure doesn't look
looking at
happy.
Oliver.
Good. It's their lives.
Their lives.
She's always thinking about that.
So
Oh,
since
Oliver.
2001, he has been trying to get this lit. What does that
Comparing,
mean?
yeah, comparing Samir to Valiak. Starting to get a little confrontational.
And he's kind of, I think, getting something. He's saying things that are making Mandy go, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, I truly do understand Oliver's frustrations. It is frustrating. I'm sure since 9/11, like things have
Look at
changed
that
in
look.
how things go, but you can't like skirt around it either and put people's lives on the line with half intel.
She's
Uh
looking at
oh.
the file after
Uh
that
oh.
little
No.
head
Go
to head.
back. I don't want to. Okay, well, here's Ash Spencer now.
Mandy's smart though. She's gonna figure it out because something's off with Oliver.
That's what
I
I
think
love about her, too.
I think it's got to be hard for her though because obviously she, feels a mentor paternalistic relationship with
I mean,
him.
I think it's really interesting. Mandy's character talks about, like, as we go through the series, like, you have to work with all these people. And, like, at some point, she says, like, everyone has, like, a breaking point. And, like, but here you look at it and, she genuinely trusts this guy. And she never
Yeah.
thought in the million years that this might not, something is off.
Yeah.
Ash Spencer definitely has a personality.
What was he saying there? That tier one operators aren't always that much to look at. It's like, have
Yeah.
you seen the ones that we're
Are
looking
you
at?
watching the same show we're watching?
Goodness.
What is Buds?
Clay doesn't look all that happy to be there, but still is having a good time.
This is a
Having a
good
drink with the
conversation.
bodyguard.
So the part of the op and plan here looks like to actually confront the person they know.
And Jason's kind of oozing disappointment here. Like, you used to hunt these guys, now you're working
he
for them?
it's so interesting. He can't fathom how you go to the other side.
And the other guy's excuse of wait till you're on your own for a few years and you'll see. Jason, like you're saying, he can't fathom that. It wouldn't be for him.
Like Jason just cannot. I mean, there's one characteristic I think they keep for Jason through the whole series, and that is his honor. Like he is hardcore honorable, and he's gonna stick to that.
Yep. Walk away.
And he still believes. He thinks this guy. He wants to believe. Like, hey, look, okay, you can walk away from this scot free, and like still. I mean, I think it's a part of him thinking about like maybe this guy thinks this is a way of absolving his own guilt.
Now it's getting a little bit chippy. You can't stop us from
Jason,
taking him.
my money's on Jason.
Working for the
There,
bad guys.
making a living off the talents God gave you. You can see on the guy's face though when Jason says you're working for a guy that massacres women and kids, like he's not proud of that.
Yeah. Hopefully it's making him think, but doesn't look like it.
He can chug a beer though.
Yeah, he was done talking.
Beer is an operator's thing, man. He didn't go for it.
Davis sounds surprised.
How? When did Jason come up with this other plan?
He's always working the problem right in the
Or
back
did
of
he
his
have
mind.
this plan? He knew that it wasn't going to go through, so he's like, "All right, backup time."
Yeah. Wonder if he thinks of scenarios just like up on the spot, or does he think them through like when
What do
he's
you
not
think?
on mission?
Like I don't want to say a day, but like, what would 5 minutes in the brain of Jason Hayes be like? Like inside his head, it just went.
Yeah, gears turning, always working.
All right, so we got Clay, Stella, and Asher all meeting.
Yeah, I wonder why Stella wanted to meet his dad so bad when they barely know each other.
Okay, I'm just gonna put this out there, but the whole Stella Clay relationship in season one, at least, was in like the start of it was bizarre to me. It was very like the next thing you know, like we're meeting parents, and I'm like,
Yeah, a little fast. Clay's just not happy about with his dad.
Clay's just ready to be combative with his dad. Like,
Well, he kind of wrinkles his nose like he's smelling something really bad. Stella's making a good impression.
I like this girl.
I don't think Clay's going to call him later.
Nope.
Back to the action.
So the boys are at the airport. Okay, I love this plan. We're not first class.
Got free booze on this bird?
That's first class.
Wait, we're not first class?
Who said anything about weed?
Poor
Isn't
Ray.
Ray in like 4 seasons later? 4 seasons later, he complains on another plane. They get on another commercial flight, and he's talking about not being able to be in first class again or something.
Well, he doesn't get to drive during the interdiction. He doesn't get to be
he's
in
like,
first
he's like, I'm
class.
just losing out on everything. Okay, but real talk. After the scene, I'm gonna make a comment, but like, we didn't come to the country on a commercial plane, correct?
Correct.
In theory.
He's kind of like Sonny in the last episode, you know? He's always got a little complaint there.
They're gone. They went home. I watched it. That's what the guy's reporting back.
Except they're in the baggage.
Someone forgot their luggage. Where does this lost luggage go?
And how did they get in there from the stairs?
They must. I'm assuming from like in the plane, they probably crawled out to the like belly of the plane and then crawled into the thing, like where they're loading the bags.
Yeah, maybe. They have to do it pretty fast,
They're
though.
seals, Julie. They have secret magic powers.
I
They
forgot.
just appear.
You know how Mandy always kind of leans on the table? It's like her signature thing.
Mm-hmm. It's
Jason's got another idea. They're just popping up everywhere.
popping like popcorn. I know that was a corny joke.
I liked it. Jason Hayes and his popcorn ideas. Clacked off an ID.
Oh my god, there's like everyone's just there's so much going on.
Well, and on a shallow note, Jason in blue is always a good idea.
Jason in blue and Mandy in blue.
I know, right?
It's
Like
just
they're
meant to be.
connected. Okay, here we go. The
It's a
interdiction.
very bluey theme. Blue
Yeah,
theme,
it
though.
is very shaded that way. I'm not looking at the study of the plans, the street plans for the city.
I would like to know, like, I mean, I assume in real time stuff moves pretty quickly too, but I mean, here I am just trying to remember like 30 seconds ago. What did I do? What did I look at?
Yeah,
Mandy's
everybody's
watching.
worried.
Yeah, and Mandy's keeping a close eye on Oliver.
Well, and she doesn't want to lose Jason's trust, and I think she's realizing Oliver's not really all there.
Because, yeah, she's like, you don't have to worry about him. And he's like, Jason's like, well, I'm not worried about him because I trust you. And it's like,
Yeah, it's a big thing.
I love all the different ways and styles we see the guys, from full on tactical gear to like just bare necessities.
The musical score is great too in this one.
A Patrick Rose, he hits every note just perfectly. Move, dude. Up. Looks like Trent hit the wrong button.
Come on!
Sonny got to drive.
Oh,
Wow, that was a crash.
nobody's hurt though.
Miraculously.
Well,
I
until the
feel like I just
gunfire.
got whiplash from watching the car.
I mean, they're hurt now with the
And
gunfire.
suddenly we're in the heat of action. But our guy's gone. Look at that look Mandy's giving
Oh,
Oliver.
he's got a runner.
Sonny loves running.
At least it's not in the water swimming.
Is it purposely shown to make it look like Jason's like the fastest, or
Well, he does have the longest stride, probably. Long legs.
Whew, anybody else out of breath after that run? Oh my god, we gotta go upstairs
Stairs.
now.
Getting a good workout in. With a gun in hand, no less.
And not knowing like what's up ahead.
It looks like an abandoned hotel or something.
Well, they were nearby like a construction site, right?
True.
Okay, well, we're confronting our old pal who has the
Oh,
HVT.
the war criminal and the bodyguard.
We've got him pinned in the hallway.
And surrounded. Jason really doesn't want him to do it. He doesn't want to kill his friend.
I love how, yeah, he always wants to give people a chance.
Don't do it.
I think the first time I watched this, I thought they were going to kill him. I was like,
Yeah, I did too. But Jason's word must have got to him.
Jason's got a lot of influence in this world.
Yep. And it's a happy ending, kind of. For the mission, anyway.
Kind of curious what happened to this guy, though. Like, did his reputation like get ruined and he lost a lot of business from the bad guys, or what a
Did
shot
they
of
find
the
out?
plane? My favorite scene.
I know,
Another
my favorite scene.
I know what you did. Only one source.
Got him pinned. preaching to her, mansplaining to her.
She figured out that Oliver was his own source so that
She's mad.
he could tie it to terrorism and get greenlit. You just pissed off.
Look
Andy.
at the look on her face. Looks could kill, he'd be dead.
It doesn't matter how we got here.
Falsified intel. He's rationalizing.
I mean, I get it, but you just played Mandy, and
That's the
I'm going to
bottom
choose
line.
Mandy over you.
You used me. Jerk. The
You
glare.
are dead to us.
And Jason sees and feels that everything
okay?
She wants to tell him. You can tell she pauses for a second. But his glare, look at his glare. Those hands on hips and
you
glaring
just
at Oliver.
upset Bravo One's girl, man. Watch your back. Sleep with one eye open. Because if Jason's not coming for you, I'm coming for you. We're back to Nate's burner phone. Lying is not necessarily deceit.
Don't do it.
Something tells me that the second time around, Jason is still not going to let this go. Even though he says he will.
Back to Clay and Ash.
How's my girl Stella doing? Did Stella really want to come back out a second night?
I think it's tough because Clay wants his father's approval, but he doesn't want it.
Yeah.
But it's all about Ash anyway. He doesn't care.
Man, people just really don't like Ash's book, that they don't want to be seen with him.
Maybe it's so poorly written. Maybe it's not the experiences, it's just bad writing.
I am curious now, because you are right. We never really got details to what exactly about his book is so controversial. Like, did he glorify details, or did he, like...
include too many details? I mean, he couldn't do classified because the government would have stopped that. I have a friend who's an author, and she used to work for the CIA, but it was actually, probably 10 years ago, and she still has to get her books read and approved by the CIA before it can be published.
Oh, wow.
So there is government, restrictions on that.
I mean, it makes sense. We don't want, like, classified information just out there.
Right, even in a fiction book.
Ash has a good point. Why are you, if he's so terrible, why are you following his footsteps, Clay?
Clay says he's erasing them. Psychobabble.
Clay just is, he's in full combative mode here.
Got the daddy issues. He's done.
He's got his cool car, though.
Yeah, flames and everything.
Okay, we're back home with Jason, and he's got the toolbox. We love toolboxes.
They're so symbolic.
Is this acceptable plaid?
I can't see the t-shirt. Does it clash?
I think it, maybe. It's kind of dark.
Yeah, it's kind of dark lighting. The red one's not my favorite. I prefer him in the blue t-shirt.
They never did take our wardrobe picks very seriously, did they?
Sometimes I think they might have. I don't know. Some episodes were a lot better than others.
Have a little man time with
Oh,
Michael.
probably very needed. Don't do it.
So
Don't lie.
Jason did lie to Alana, basically saying he couldn't figure out like where.
Look how bad he feels.
Man, Jason, you have so much guilt in your life already. I would have ignored Ray's advice and like told the truth. Or at least said like you're still working on leads and like figuring it out.
At least he only said it on a voicemail. He didn't say it to her
But
face.
is the plot about to thicken? We got a picture of Nate and his family. Jason's going through like a box of pictures.
And
Did
what
they
does he
take these
see?
pictures like out just randomly, or are these BTS pictures, behind the scene pictures?
I assume they just put them out.
There's a big group photo of people, and it looks like maybe in Afghanistan or somewhere. And
Yep.
something has caught Jason's eye.
Surprised his wife didn't want those pictures when she was packing up the house. She
And we find
matches.
out the mysterious woman was in Afghanistan.
The
Jason
plot
didn't remember that
thickens.
face. Just saying, we had a good memory face of the other guy, but he didn't remember this particular woman who's in a picture with him. So we end the episode with this mysterious woman that Jason has tracked down due to Nate's phone, and the plot thickens of he finds this woman in one of the pictures they have, it looks like, of a group of people out in a war zone somewhere. And
I like that they've done the Nate arc through this first season and the mystery of what he was doing, and even though
yeah,
he's dead, he's still part of the
I
season.
think the Nate arc goes for about the first half of this season. And then what was really interesting about the season one, and it's not really a spoiler per se, but like the first half of the season is very, like we start off with like kind of a background for what's going to set up to be an op, and we're home and we deploy out and we come home. And then eventually in the back half of the season, we see a different aspect of being a SEAL, which is actually being like deployed
Deployed.
out to, in this case, it's going to be like Afghanistan, and they're there for months, just running whatever ops they have and all that stuff. And I thought that was really awesome too, that like, they transition us into, and then
More field.
after season one, of course, it becomes like a mixture of like we deploy out from the US and come back home to staying out in places for months on end or whatever to get the job done. So
I liked the deployment season. I liked when they were, really showing what it's like. It's boring sometimes. It's not all missions and excitement, and they just did a really good job.
now, like, what do you do during downtime? We already see like little glimpses of it. Like, they don't know what to do with themselves. They're just like, okay, I went through my weapons. And, I maybe played a game, and then it's like, now what? Do I sleep? Do I, what do
Yeah.
you do? They're just chomping at the bit to like go and be in front of like gunfire or something.
And of
Which
course, Mandy's working 24/7 to get the target packages, and
and
it was just very realistic.
Jason worried about her well-being.
We got some fun stuff coming up, but that was a good
Oh yeah,
episode.
that was definitely a good
How do
episode.
you think the title tied into the episode, The Christmas Future?
Oh, I think it has something to do with the flashback to
The Valiant
1994 when
guy.
the executions were happening. I think that happened. I think during the briefing they mentioned something about that happening like at
During
Christmas or
Christmas
around
time.
Christmas. So I think during the briefing time maybe they mention it in passing there. That's what, if I remember correctly. So
I just wasn't sure if they were trying to tie it somehow to Oliver, that because he's kind of at the end of his life and he's pretty much, giving away his honor to get the job done that he couldn't get done back in the
I mean,
day.
I think it could be because we had a lot of the theme was about like keeping your honor. I mean, we have the storyline of like Nate and
Yeah.
his, like we said, like preserving his memory. We have the,
Jason with the lying.
with, yeah, Jason with the lying. And then we have like, this old war buddy, from another force that they find that's, turned and started working with the bad guys. And then But then, what else do we have?
Mandy being used by
Mandy
Oliver was
being
the big
used
one.
by Oliver. So it was like this huge theme of just like people fighting the good fight only to all of a sudden be on the other side of it. And like I said, it's really interesting Jason's point of view on all this, because he's very like, but he wants to preserve, like I said, I think like you said too, he wants to preserve Nate's memory. He doesn't want it to be like him to be remembered as like, okay, he died like a warrior. Oh, but he was like cheating on the side or something. Like, and you wouldn't want to do that to someone either. You don't want to tarnish someone's memory, but like in the back of your mind, I mean, Ray keeps saying, let it go, let it go, let it go. But I mean, Jason's not one, I think, to let it go. He's going to want to know for
Get to the
fact,
bottom of it.
like,
Because it'll haunt him.
right. And it's like you said, it's interesting. Ray kind of is just like, just let it go. Like, who cares,
And maybe that ties into the Christmas carols, obviously, where the ghost of Christmas future would come from. And maybe it's tying into the haunting of the ghosts and what would haunt you in the future because of how you've acted in the past and present. Lots of symbolism to think about.
Yes, lots of symbolism. So, but yeah, that was episode 4. We hope that you enjoyed it. We enjoy doing these things, and let us know your thoughts of what you thought this episode was, or if there was something you noticed that maybe we didn't talk about. So, again, as always, thank you for tuning in. We love that you guys love this, and we're going to keep doing this. And we will see you on the next one.
Thanks for all the great feedback. See you then.
Bye.